Will the true black race be destroyed? That's going to be the title of this video. It's quite a title, isn't it? I hadn't done a video in a while, so I guess I'll just make this my next one. It's quite a title. Will the true black race be destroyed? And, it's just something that I've had on my mind for a little bit now, Going out, walking out, taking a look around, seeing what's in front of me. It really seems as if the black race is at a pretty bleak point. Something that it hasn't really been at for thousands of years. Maybe not. But, it seems quite bad, I'm 27 years old. I remember when I was in high school, you used to walk around and see black people, and, black people have always been doing bad. If you're listening to this, I assume you're a black American. Black Americans have always been doing not so great, but it used to be years ago we didn't quite look this haggardy, this raggedy, the men at least appeared to look like men, and the women at least appeared to look like women. You go out now and you walk around and you'll see, some 20-year-old black, apparently man, with hot Cheetos for hair, and, they're wearing super tight skinny jeans, and they're zebra striped, and, they're wearing a leopard shirt, extra medium, and you just look at it, and you wonder how it got to this point, When I was in high school, like I said, 10 years ago, if you would have came to high school looking like that, you might have got jumped or something. Times have really changed, If you went around saying that you were gay, they might have just been like, oh, he's gay, we'll just leave him alone. Dressed like that. But, if you was going around claiming to be straight, and you was dressed like that, they was gonna give you a real hard time. You know what I mean? It was gonna give you a real hard time. But, now it's just like, you can go out as a quote-unquote black man, with hot Cheetos for hair and just dressed like some, dumb mumble rapper, and everything's cool. That's just the style now. I've seen black people really degenerate in the last, 5 years or so. Just as far as what's an acceptable appearance and what isn't, And it's enough to make me wonder, will the black race be destroyed? You know what I mean? It's just that bad. And, to really think about it and the situation that black people, especially black Americans, find themselves in, I think you're going to have to go back quite a way. You're going to have to go really far back. I mean, you're going to have to go back to almost the beginning, And in the beginning, God created Adam and Eve. And, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna be 100% honest about the black race and then other races of people and what I believe is true on this earth. Adam and Eve were just black, okay? That's how it was. Adam and Eve was black. And so you have people, whether or not they believe in the Bible or they believe in this Egypt crap or they believe in some other stuff or whatever, everyone can kind of be in agreement among black people that black people were the first. So the question is, well, if we were the first, how did we end up becoming the last? And I think the answer to that maybe goes back further than Adam and Eve. If Adam and Eve were black, the question is, where do these other non-black races of people come from? Because let's just be honest, these other non-black races of people, they rule the world. And they've ruled the world for centuries. And depending on how you want to look at it, maybe they've ruled the world for thousands of years, Now, you start saying that, you start getting into people saying, well, really, these group of people were actually black, and these group of people were actually black, or whatever. But, I mean, as far as it stands right now, these non-black people have ruled the world and have ruled over black people for centuries at least. So we've got to go with that. And the question is, well, where did they come from? And, you have a bunch of different black people who say a bunch of different things. You have some who say, Yakub, a mad black scientist with a big head, created them on an island and da-da-da-da-da and all this stupid crap. Yakub is just their stupid way of saying, well, I won't say that. It's just another way of saying Jacob. Yakub, Jacob, etc., etc. So that whole Yakub myth, that's something that, the Nation of Islam came up with. And if you trace that really farther back, the leader of the Nation of Islam was not really even Elijah Muhammad. The real leader of it was like this guy, F.W. Fard or Ward or something like that. I'm just going off the top of my head here, man. And this guy, you can look him up. He was like a Turk. He was basically white. I mean, he was white-ish, maybe not blonde, blue-eyed Aryan, but he certainly wasn't black. So, I mean, how much can you really trust this whole ridiculous Frankenstein mad scientist theory? There's no real evidence behind it. Not only is there no real evidence behind it, but there are no legends, amongst black people or amongst non-blacks about this Yakub and a mad scientist and an island character. It's just all ridiculous. So really, some other people saying, well, it's aliens. But, I had researched aliens from the time I was in elementary school to, the time I was in like my early mid-20s. And from what I've researched and what I found out, aliens are not really aliens at all. They're really just fallen angels. And some people may say, oh, here you go again with that Bible stuff. Well, I mean, you need to sit down and listen, man. these aliens, when they, allegedly come into people's rooms and stuff like that, they come through the roof, they come through the wall, they come butt naked, okay? So they're not using technology to come through the roof or to come through the wall. They're just doing that with magic, okay? And the other thing is, they often are said to have like these anal probes. Now, what would an alien from outer space be doing with like an anal probe? Okay, there's no, what kind of scientific measurements are they taking? They're not taking anything. They're just devils from hell, and they're into butt stuff, as all devils from hell are. And so you got that. And then also, people say when they call on the name of Christ, they can dispel these aliens from their room, or if they're in a ship, they can go back to their house or whatever. If they bring up the name of Christ, well, what kind of sense does that make if these things are just aliens from outer space? So I had researched this issue for, maybe like 20 years now, since I was in elementary school. I mean, a long time. And from everything I've researched, what I thought were aliens were just fallen angels. And I thought maybe there was something to the whole idea of maybe aliens creating white people or non-black people or whatever. But really, they're fallen angels. So now we come to, where do these non-blacks really come from? And I think, honestly, I've been thinking about it for like 4 years straight now. I really honestly think the real answer is they come from fallen angels and demons. I think when God makes humans, he makes them black. And when fallen angels and demons like intervene, they create these non-black people. Okay. And I know some people are going to say that's racist, that's this, that's that. But I mean, it's almost 2019. I just got to be blunt and honest about how I see things. And maybe I'm wrong. Please, God and, others, forgive me if I'm wrong. But this is just how I see it right now. Okay. I've been thinking this over for like 4 years straight, and I honestly think that non-black people are genetically modified, basically, or however modified, from black people who are the real humans, okay? And basically, you look at, the myth of the Bible. Well, it's not a myth. You look at the stories of the Bible, and you look at the myths of even non-black people, and they will tell you, when the fallen angels came down, they had sex with human, aka black, women, and they gave birth to a number of different individuals, Some maybe looked more or less like black people, and then some maybe looked albino, okay? And then maybe some looked giants, and then maybe some looked like quote-unquote regular white people. But the thing is, the point here is, all of these different kind of aberrations from the basic human format, which is, a black Negro, came when the fallen angels, or the Watchers, came and they intervened and they had sex with human, aka black women, okay? And not only is it that, but I think these non-black people, for the most part, not only did they come from fallen angels and demons, they are fallen angels and demons. And I know that statement is gonna, get a lot of people upset and a lot of brouhaha and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I've been thinking it over for just years and years and years. And that's just the conclusion that I've come to. These non-black and white people that we see on the earth, they're just fallen angels and demons in human-like bodies, okay? Gentiles. You have to think about the term Gentile. That's what these people are. But what does that term mean? Well, Gen in Gentile is spelled Gen, but it sounds like Jinn. Now, what that word corresponds to, basically, in Arabic, is Jinn, which is Jinn, Jinn. Now, in Arabic, long story short, a Jinn, Jinn, basically means an ungodly spirit. It's basically describing spirits that, were of the fallen angels, okay? And you look at the word tile, tile, I believe, is a Greek word. That means cover. Floor tile, roof tile, a tile, a cover for the floor, a cover for the roof, okay? Tile means cover. What is a Gentile? A Gentile is a cover for an ungodly spirit. So what are Gentiles? They are fallen angels and demons manifest in human bodies, okay? That is what a Gentile is, alright? And I know, it's been unpopular to say that. I've been wondering about it for years and years and years, wondering if I should say something. But, it's so late in the game, I might as well just say that's what I think it is. And if I'm wrong, if there's, one white person out of 1,000 or out of 1,000,000 who's actually human, I'm sorry. I guess it doesn't apply to you. But the vast majority, in fact, probably all non-blacks and white people, I honestly think are just fallen angels and demons. Okay? There you go. If you're black and you're still listening to this and you're wondering what it all is and who these people are and why they seem so foreign and alien and weird and different from you, well, I think that's the answer right there. And so, you have Adam and Eve, and then you have these basically hybrids being created. Well, who are these hybrids? Who are these fallen angels and demons? Well, to answer that question, you have to go even further back, behind Adam and Eve. From my understanding, here it is. You had, God. And you had God create all of these spirits in heaven before he created Adam or Eve. And these spirits were the angels. And at some point, for some reason, you had a war in heaven. Now, why did you have a war in heaven? Some people make different reasons for different things. Some people say Adam was unveiled, and because Adam was unveiled, some angels, went and bowed to Adam, and then some didn't, and there was a war over that. Some say it wasn't that. Some say it was Christ was unveiled in heaven. Basically, the angels thought it was just like the Father God. And then the Father God unveiled Christ. And some wanted to bow and some didn't want to bow. And that was the reason. I don't know. I don't remember it. I wasn't really there. So, not in that sense. So, you had a third of heaven basically fighting against God. And you had, some people, some angels fighting for God, and they threw out the rebels. And, the Mormons say, well, I'll get to that later. And so you have these Adam and Eve, right? Who are Adam and Eve and their true, pure human descendants? Well, Adam and Eve and the whole human thing, that was intended as a way for the angels of heaven to live on earth as humans. If you didn't know, now you know. What is a human? A human is an angel from heaven who incarnates as a man on earth. That is what a real human is. And so, obviously they have their minds wiped. I think they get made into a gender, male or female, totally male or totally female, as God's true humans are. And they incarnate on earth. And basically, I believe you choose your parents, That's why God said respect your parents, because I think you choose your parents. I don't think your parents are just your parents. You choose your parents. You chose your parents. And you chose how you would be born, and kind of how you were in heaven, and, the choices you made and how you were, maybe even how you looked in heaven or something, I don't know. It translates here into how you look here on earth, and who your family is, and what your station on earth is, and various sort of things like that. And so now you have to ask, well, what about these non-black people? Who are they? And I believe that they are basically the fallen angels who were cast from God's presence. They can incarnate basically as people too. And I think that's kind of what they created their own seed line and the serpent seed line and, non-black people for, so that they could incarnate as people too, alongside the angels from heaven who incarnated as, real, true black human Negroes, right? Of course, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when you have real humans who probably have their memories, they do have their memories erased, incarnating side by side along with these fallen angels and their hybrid demon human. When a fallen angel mates with a human, they create what's known as a demon, and that's like a hybrid, okay? And so you have some of these originally, non-blacks. Maybe some of them were fallen angels, and then eventually some of them maybe were demons, hybrids. And so what's going to happen when you have these humans living side by side with these fallen angel and their demon hybrids, on the earth? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, the fallen angels and demons probably know who they are and what they are. They probably have a lot of hate for real humans, right? And they're going to have an agenda of, we are going to overrun the earth with our seed and wipe out the true human seed. That is their plan. That is their agenda, okay? And the humans, for the most part, they're not really going to have an agenda. Their minds are erased, If you're really a human, you're just born here and this is all new to you. You probably existed before as an angel, but you don't know that. This is just all new to you. So, you're born and this is all new, and you're not thinking, oh, I need to have lots of kids so I can wipe out the serpent seed No, you probably think, oh, well, we are all brothers and we are all in this together. And, sorry. And, you're probably thinking, everyone is just human. Even if these people look different from me, we're all just human, right? Whether or not deep down, subconsciously, you believe that, I don't know. Or if you just think that because the alternative is too scary, I don't know. But, that's what you all believe. That's what you're programmed to believe. It makes things easier to believe that. It makes things scary to think that you're sharing the earth with demons and fallen angels. These, evil, could probably shapeshift, like, just evil demon beings, walking around you every day. I mean, it's just easier to think they're human, okay? So you probably do. And so, back to this, back to before, you had Adam and Eve and their seed probably being almost overrun with the seed of these just, demon creatures, And, these things almost overtook the real human seed. It got so bad, God had to send a flood and almost kill almost everything. Why did he do that? Well, he did it because these things were just overbreeding and overtaking the true human seed. So basically, he had to have a reset, like a reset button, You had to have like a kind of reset button to kind of reset everything. Otherwise, there would have been no human race left, So, you come to the other side of the flood, the true black human race, and, we disembark from the ark. You start, Shinar in the Bible, often called Sumer. And, the original Mesopotamians, they talk about the Mesopotamians all day long in school. And they have you think that these Mesopotamians were some, like, tan-skinned fake Arabs. Well, these Arabs are nothing more than just Turks. They're not the real Arabs. And they weren't the real Mesopotamians either. You go back and you look and you read. You don't trust my words, you read. The original Mesopotamians were called themselves the black-headed people. These were black people, okay? And you had these people starting the first kingdoms on the earth again. Well, at some point, somehow, you had this fallen angel demon seed who can often be non-black and white and whatnot, begin to be reintroduced back into the earth. And, that's been the whole kind of interracial struggle ever since, And even what makes it worse, it would be bad enough if you just thought, as a black person, okay, well, maybe I only have to worry about these non-blacks and these whites, being demons and fallen angels. That's bad enough. But it's not just that. It's also other black people as well who are part of this seed. And that's where things really get bad. And that's where I really began, making this video. Will the true black human race be destroyed because of these, black people who are really demons and fallen angels, just like a lot of these non-blacks and whites are. You wonder why the black community is just like so ratty, shootings and the crime and all this kind of stuff, and why so many black people honestly just kind of look so ugly and just, this and that. So stupid, really. Well, here's why. Because a lot of them, the ones who are just really just kind of scraggly and trashy and ratty, they're not even really real human black people. Real human black people, from what I think I can tell, are really quite mellow. They're really quite mellow. They're not super amped up. They're not what these stereotypes try to make us out to be. And basically, what I think is going on here is these demons and fallen angels who have a way of being human or pretending to be human on the planet. They have infiltrated our race, basically. And basically, when it comes time to probably have like a white person, Satan might get might let a, smart or a seemingly, quote unquote, decent fallen angel get to be white or whatever. Or maybe a higher ranking demon or something like that. But when it comes time to assign who gets to be a black person, this is just kind of my guess, but I think they often take the worst of the worst in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't totally know, I don't totally know how hell really assigns which fallen angels and demons get to be who and what race and whatnot. But I often think they really just kind of take the rattiest of the demons and maybe some of the worst of the fallen angels and get them to be black people in order to just kind of make real black humans look around at them and be like, man, what's wrong with my race? My race is really screwed up. But, I mean, it's not really your race. These things, they're not really human like you are. And, the question you might be wondering is, well, how can you tell? How do you know all of this stuff? And the answer is you got to go back to Adam and Eve again. When, when God made Adam, he just made Adam out of the dust of the earth. And when he decided to make for Adam Eve, what he did was he took out one of Adam's ribs, and from that he made Eve. But it could almost be said as in he separated the feminine from the masculine when he separated Adam and Eve, which means Adam was 100% male and Eve was 100% female. And therein lies probably the best way where you're going to be able to tell who is who and what is what. You see, a true human like Adam and Eve, they're going to be totally male or totally female. If they're portraying themselves to be a male or a man or a boy, they're going to have a sharp, angular forehead at like an angle, and it's going to be straight. Okay, a straight, angular forehead. They're going to have a brow bone, and they're going to have wide apart eyes, and they're going to have a square chin and an actual jawline. If you're still listening to this, go outside and just take a look at the men that you see. Most of the men that you see are going to have this kind of, they're going to have this kind of chin-strap chin, okay? They're going to have a chin-strap chin, and they're not going to have a jawbone. Their chin is basically going to attach with skin to their neck, They're going to have a gullet, but they're not going to have an actual jawline, alright? You know, I do show my face in some of my videos, and you can see I actually have an actual jawline. A lot of people that you see on the streets now, they're not actually going to have an actual jawline. They're just not. A lot of men anyway. But you look at the women will have these well-defined jawlines. They'll look like, you know, someone has a jawline when they look like they can take a punch, okay? You look at a lot of men, they don't look like they can really take a punch that well because they don't have a jawline and they have a very weak chin. A man is supposed to have a strong, boxy chin and a strong jawline, whereas a woman is supposed to have a weak chin and not really have a jawline. It's basically supposed to be like a chin strap chin for a woman, and the skin from the chin goes right to the neck. She doesn't really have a jawline with a real woman, okay? But this is probably gonna be strange to people because they've only seen that with men. They've hardly seen a real woman, or if they have, they've only seen them in passing. So, you know, for a lot of people, they're just used to this reverse gender kind of features, okay? But Adam and Eve and their descendants, their true human descendants, they don't have mixed gender features. They have the same gender features, okay? And there's a whole field called transvestigation. I advise you to kind of look at some of my videos and to kind of go through and to look at transvestigation in YouTube, and you can kind of tell the difference between how to tell a real man from a real woman, okay? But a lot of black people, you wonder why a lot of black women look so mannish. It's because they're actually black males. They're not black females, okay? They're actually black males. And a lot of these black, they're the devil's children. Real black females do exist, but they're very rare, okay? Most of the black women that you see are going to be these demons and fallen angels who pretend to be human, okay? And they're going to have male skeletons, but they're going to try to have female hormones and breasts and whatnot, try to appear to be women, but really they have male skeletons and they're male. And it's the reverse with the men, okay? You wonder how can so many men walk with skinny jeans? It's because they don't really have that big of a junk. Why don't they have much of a junk? Because they're really females, okay? A lot of these men, no matter how tall they may look, no matter what their voice may sound like, a lot of these men are really actually females. You can tell by their weak chins. They don't really have a jawline. They have short arms, okay, and a lot of other features as well. I kind of go through this in a lot of my earlier videos, and I go through, and you can see other people going through this in so-called transvestigation on YouTube. But, take that for what it's worth. I hope you do your own research into that. Basically, every single celebrity you see is going to be one of these devil's children. They're going to be a demon or a fallen angel. They're going to be a clone. They're going to be reverse gender, okay? The men are going to have female skeletons, but male hormones. The women are going to have male skeletons, but female hormones. And because they, the men have muscles or the women have boobs or whatever, people think, oh, that's a real woman, that's a real man. But when you look at the skeletal structure, you'll see it's not really true, okay? But Adam and Eve, they would have been 100% the correct gender features, okay? So now, back to, the black race and whether or not it will survive. When I look around, I don't really see very many real black people. I really don't. I came from the West Coast, and, I figured if I move out down south, maybe I can find a bit more real black people than I did find out west, I figured that would be true. It made sense, wouldn't it? So I moved down south, and again, I can't really seem to find very many. Now, I won't say I never see any. Every now and then, it seems like I see some by accident, but, what are the numbers here? We're talking very, very small. We're talking numbers like 1 in 50, 1 in 100. Maybe even worse than that. It might even be like 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000. I really just don't know. There aren't very many real humans on the earth right now. They say there's 7 billion people on planet Earth. Well, how many of them are actually human? 7 billion people. If only 10% were human, that would be 700 million. But I don't even think it's that. If only 1% were human, you get like 70 million people. That's best case scenario, in my opinion. But I don't even think it's that. You're probably talking, the number could be less than 50 million real humans. The number could be less than 5 million real humans, okay? Out of 7 billion. That's crazy. And it's numbers like that make me think the black race, the real black human race, may be heading to extinction. I don't know. The thing about that is, you have this talk often lately about 2019, and 2019 is going to be the year where the 400 years is up, and God is going to start to deliver and move his real human people out of bondage from the hands of these whites and these Gentile supremacists who, are demons and fallen angels, and they rule this earth, and they rule over us, and they control everything, and they have all the shops and all the jobs and everything. You gotta go through them for everything. Like the Bible says, we are being fed, or protected from the face of the serpent. I'm paraphrasing here. I might be getting that a little wrong. But basically, these things control everything. We don't control anything. And that's even including these black devils, okay? These fake black people. Even including them, we don't control anything. So real black people don't control nothing. If you're a real black man or woman, you probably have a very hard time getting a job, a very hard time keeping a job. These things, including fake black people, look at you and they hate your guts. They try to sabotage you. They point fingers at you. They try to set you up for failure. They try to do everything in their power to see if they can get you fired. It's very, very difficult if you're a real black man or woman trying to make it in this world, it's very, very difficult. And, sometimes it almost seems like it's impossible, but I guess you just gotta hold on. And if you're a woman, they may make it a bit easier for you, but they're only making it easier for you to set you up for failure, to set you up to, so that they can have sex with you, to set you up so that they can basically try to steal your soul that way. Because that's the other thing. As I said, black people didn't look so bad maybe 10 years ago. But one of the reasons for that is because maybe 10 years ago or more, they were just more real human black people. Maybe not so much more, but at least some more. And now we've been reduced to almost nothing, We've been reduced to less than 1% of this world's population, And I'm not including all of the ratty black people on this. I'm just trying to include real humans. Wow, that was a loud thunderstrike. Anyway, I'm just trying to include real humans in this. And, at this rate, you wonder, is there going to be anyone left in a year, in 2 years? Is there going to be anyone left at this point? Is the real, true black human race going to be exterminated from the earth? The black human race, the real black human race, has gone through quite a lot of struggles in their sojourn here on earth. You wonder, what was the big deal in the Bible about the nation of Israel? Well, the big deal was that the nation of Israel was like the one human race, basically, in a world filled with non-humans. And that may not be 100% true. Maybe there were some non-Hebrew people back in the day, and the real Hebrews were black. Maybe there were some non-Hebrew people who were real humans, maybe a few. But for the most part, the story of Israel is the story of the one group of real humans on this earth as they travel to and fro with all of these non-black demon and fallen angels who hate them so much, surrounding them on all sides, testing them as much as God would want them to be tested, because basically this place is like a purgatory. Some angels, as I said, real black humans, you're an angel from heaven, or you were. But, some may have been sent here on missions and what have you. Some may have volunteered to come here. But for the most part, I think coming here is a punishment. I think coming here is like being on parole. You did something bad, you did something wrong, you screwed up. So now here you are on earth, and it's not quite hell, but it's certainly not heaven. I guess you could call that a purgatory. But you're surrounded by all these demons on all sides. And so that's why some people kind of refer to earth as hell. I wouldn't go that far, but, basically, when you have a planet filled with just demons and fallen angels just walking everywhere, being everywhere, seeing you, doing your every move, staring at you all the time, constantly hating you, constantly screwing with your mind, trying to, get you to go insane or to curse God or to, kill yourself or to do all of these things. When you have that here constantly non-stop, it leads a lot of people to assume that this place is hell. And I wouldn't say that, but I would certainly say there's probably no more room in hell. So the dead are walking the earth. Just as it said in that movie, The Dawn of the Dead. That was an old saying they said in it. And basically, in a lot of these movies, they pretty much tell you the truth. They lie to you in the news, but they tell you the truth in the movies. And in the movies, they said, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. And that's basically what you have right now. You don't believe me? Look out the window. Look at all these trashy, ratty people, black or white or whatever, just walking along aimlessly, just no life in them whatsoever. If you're over the age of 23, you may know what I'm talking about a little bit when you think back to how things used to be when you were a teenager. The younger you are, the more you're used to this kind of bizarro world. And so maybe you don't quite notice it as much. But if you're, 24 or older, maybe you just kind of notice, or you just know that we're really in this bizarro world. And you may not know what it is. Well, what it is most people on the earth, unfortunately, including the vast majority of black people, they're really just demons and fallen angels pretending to be human. And I think they pretend to be human by operating clone bodies. Maybe there's some debate about that, whether it's true or not. The book of Daniel talks about the children of iron and the children of clay. And my interpretation of that is that the children of iron are these fake people, these clones or robotoids or whatever you want to call them, who are basically manufactured by the fallen angels, underground or wherever they hide out in. And they set them loose upon the world, and they operate them basically like the movie Avatar. I believe, they're probably operated like that or something close to that. And the children of clay, as per the book of Daniel, I believe